or good morning, whenever you're watching this. This video is going to be all about protein. Okay, we're going to look at a very brief overview of why you need it. We're going to have a look at how much you need and the sort of best strategies for spreading out across your day to get the best results that you possibly can. So, protein, when it's digested, is broken down into amino acids. Okay, and those amino acids are then reconstituted into other proteins. So with that, we're thinking about muscle tissue, we're thinking about connective tissue, we're thinking about enzymes, hormones, neurotransmitters, all the stuff that makes you work, basically. So we need a minimum amount coming in each day. If you look at the research, most research suggests between 1.2 grams per kilo of body weight per day, all the way up to about 2.4 grams per kilo per day. Okay, so quite a wide range, but it depends on a number of factors. If you are fairly sedentary and you're looking just to improve the health benefits that you will get from a higher protein intake, somewhere between 1.2 to 1.5 grams seems to work. For fat loss, we're looking at 1.2. Oh, what was in here? Get that back. 1.2 to about 2.4. If you're leaner, then you tend up towards this end. If you've got a bit more weight to lose, you tend down towards this end somewhere. I think largely that is due to down here. If you've got a lot of weight to lose, increasing your carb and fat intake can be very beneficial in terms of satiety and all the rest of it. Leaner you are, the lower you want to keep carbs and stuff, just to get the last few percentage points off your body fat. So you tend up towards that end. On that note, there may be benefits to go as high as 3.1 grams or more, but for most people, most of the time, you don't need to go up that high. All right. Now, instead of thinking about all these 0.2s and 0.5s and all the rest of it, a really simple couple of options for you to work out roughly how much protein you should be going for per day. If you are within around 10 kilos of your target body weight, so if you're kind of less than or equal to 10 kilograms of your body weight goal, use body weight in kilos times 2. Okay, that'll give you a good approximation. All right, it seems to work for most people. It's not one that you necessarily have to hit exactly every day, but you can push up towards it. You're going to get pretty good results. If you have more than 10 kilos to lose, okay, so if you're sitting, say, 95 kilos, your rough idea of your goal body weight is somewhere in the region of 70, so you've got about 25 kilos to lose. This can make it a very big target to aim for. An easier way is to take your height in centimeters and turn that into grams per day. And that's my cat in the background being annoying, probably looking for food. So, for example, for this one, say you are, I don't know, say 5'5", that's approximately 162 centimeters, I think. That would give you a target of around 160 grams per day. All right. Now, what we have to think about is it is not unusual for me to see a new client come in sitting around sort of 50 to 70 grams of protein per day. All right, that's pretty low. And if I'm asking you to go from 50 to 70 grams all the way up to, say, 160, That's a big jump. Not many people can do that straight away. So here's a really easy way you can get that kind of progression happening in a more reasonable way. So if we think about this as time in weeks, and this is protein in grams per day, your target might be up here at 160, let's say. Okay, at the moment you're sitting down here at 70. We already know that you can do this. This is what you're doing without even trying. All right, this is where you are right now. So let's set an intermediate goal. Let's say 90 grams. Okay, we're going to go with 90 grams per day, and that's going to be your first target. And it might take you 2 weeks to get up there and do that consistently. Once that is easy and that becomes just part of your daily routine, you bump that up to say 130. Okay, so you're going to work on that again. You're going to go about another 2 to 3 weeks until you build that into your daily routine. It becomes more habitual, things are easier, you're understanding how much protein is in what foods, and you're making a habit of getting protein in at most meals and most snacks as well. All right, and you still want to squeeze out, this is a pretty good place to be, but you want to squeeze out that list a little bit, so you want to bump up to 160. So there's 160. And it takes you another 2 to 3 weeks of increasing protein intake and building that habit into your day. But over the course of, instead of trying to do it in 1 week, you've taken maybe 8 weeks to build up to that 160. So it's a nice steady increase, steady progression. And honestly, if you're anywhere within this kind of range, you're going to be pretty good. All right. Now, in terms of protein timing, what I'll often see with new clients is that at breakfast, there's maybe 15 grams. At lunch, there's maybe 20. There's not really much in a snack, but at dinner, bigger meal, you say you have 45 grams. All right, that gives you a total of 80 grams. All right, it's pretty low. It's not really where we want to be. What you would ideally be able to do is take that one up to about 25, take that one up to about 45, throw in a snack of 25, and keep that one about 45. All right, that gives you 140 grams. Okay, which lies within our ballpark figure. Okay, the other reason that this is a better spread of protein than this one is in order to trigger muscle protein synthesis, that is the production of new muscle tissue effectively, you need to be over a certain protein threshold. That protein threshold is roughly 20 to 25 grams. Okay, and that includes, we're assuming here that that is a complete protein source, so that has all of the amino acids contained within it. Complete proteins come under basically animals, so meat, fish, poultry, okay, are the main sources. Dairy as well. Soy's in there as well, but it's not one that I would be looking to get in at every meal. It's fine maybe as a supplement, so you get it in at your supplement, but you're not going to go for it all the time. All right. If you are vegetarian or vegan, you're looking to try and combine various sources of protein, so a lot of vegetable selection, beans, pulses, dairy if you have that, to try and combine as many protein sources as you can to get that 25 grams and 3 grams of leucine. If we take option 1, if this is your threshold for hitting protein synthesis, at your breakfast, you fall short, amino acids drop off. At lunch, you scrape it, it drops off. At dinner, you go above it, and then it drops off overnight back to where you were. All right, so you're only really hitting MPS once, and that is not going to be optimal for maintaining or gaining lean mass while you drop calories. So looking at option 2, if we've got our protein threshold there of 20 to 25, breakfast takes you over, it drops back, lunch takes you over, drops back, snack, and then dinner. All right, you're spending this much time compared with all of this time in a state of creating or maintaining as much muscle mass as you can. All right, so when it comes to protein, first of all, let's look at what sort of number you should be aiming for. So for this one, for example, if you're 60 kilos, you'd be aiming for about 120 grams. If you've got a little bit more weight to lose, height in centimeters turns into grams per day, and it gives you a good ballpark to aim for. Aiming for a gradual step up in your protein intake, taking as long as you need to solidify each step along the way. Breaking that protein intake into amounts of 20 to 25 grams minimum per meal or snack throughout the day as often as possible. Ideally from meat or fish, poultry or dairy. But if you are vegetarian or vegan, it just means you have to be a little bit more creative with your food combinations. So a lot of variation on vegetables. There are a lot of good sort of high protein breads. There are good variations on Greek yogurt and quark and all that sort of stuff if you go down the dairy route. But nuts, pulses, all the rest of it, just watch out for excess calories from those sources. Okay, so hopefully that helps you with your protein needs and how to work them out. If you have any questions at all, just fire me a message and I will be happy to help.